I had a realization yesterday, okay? I went on a walk and I was like, something's just not right. Like, there's these specific things in my life I, that has honestly kind of like stayed the same for quite some time. And I'm like, something just doesn't feel right about that. And then a little voice came into my brain. I don't know who it was or what it was, but it was like, you are way too desperate. And I was like, wait, what? That honestly explains everything. Today I wanted to talk about desperation. And desperation, so I've learned, is a form of lack. Um, Whether you're spiritual or not, I don't know. I guess I'm spiritual. I don't really know. Whatever. I just believe what I think makes sense. Like what makes sense with life, I guess, and my experiences. But I do believe that lack is something that comes from desperation, and that it's like considered a low vibration type of vibe. Like it's pretty much signaling that you don't have something. And some people are like, well, yeah, obviously you don't have it if it's not in the physical world. But I feel like there is more than just physical world. I do think that, like, from what quantum physics says, that there's a lot of energy and unseen things that we don't see. But yeah, so like there's more to physical reality. So I do agree and believe that there's more unseen stuff that we're not seeing. Anyways, so I was kind of taken aback by this thought that I had, that I was like, what? I was a little bit offended. But honestly, I feel like it was what I needed to hear in the moment. And I was like, I don't know, this walk was really, for some reason, so transformational. Is that the right word? Yeah. Um, it was life changing for me. I mean, because I didn't really have that conversation with myself of like, wow, I am being very desperate. And I had a bit of an eye-opening experience, which is a little bit embarrassing for me to mention or like talk about, but fuck it. Literally whatever. I don't care. To be cringe is to be free, honestly. And to be authentic is to be happy. I don't know, I just made that up, but it's true. Like, I want to be authentic and honestly just speak from my true experiences. But my eye-opening situation or experience is honestly a very recent crush that I had on a boy. Yeah. Okay. So I'm not really going to explain this, but I do think that this crush kind of, yeah, it opened my eyeballs to kind of how I have been focusing on things in my life. And the way that I've been focusing on it is through like a desperation lens. So this is what I want to talk about today. Okay. I want to talk about desperation. I want to talk about like kind of, I guess, the solution, even though, yeah, like I want to talk about the solution that I think is the solution to this, and I'm still putting it into practice, but I still want to talk about it because I feel like it also helps me be on track as well, mentally. And as I explain, that'll make sense. That'll make more sense, what I just said. So, let's start with what Google said. Okay. I Googled this because I was like, I can't be the only one dealing with this, right? This type of like desperation mindset. And I just wanted to Google it out of curiosity of like what was being said online about it, whatever. And honestly, what I found really kind of helped me. I feel like, because I was like, um, okay, so I'm not being delusional and making this up in my head about desperation and it being a form of lack, which is kind of like another thought that I had on my magical walk, which was following this thought that came into my head of you are hella desperate. Following that thought came, wait, why did I just lose my train of thought? Following that thought came, that the things that I want run away from me so fast when I'm feeling so desperate for it. It runs so fast from me. That's what it feels like, at least, and really far away from me. Okay, and then the more desperate I am, the farther it gets away from me. But then the more I just let go and relax, I feel like the more it kind of comes back or like comes into my life. Which is a very interesting concept, and that's another thought that I had on my walk. So when I looked this up on Google, on the Googles, it mentioned a part called cultivate your inner state. And I was like, okay, I've read about this and, like changing your thoughts, aligning your thoughts with what you want instead of what you don't want. And that's like cultivating your inner state to, cultivate it to match what you do want. Okay. So as an example, let's say that you are desiring a relationship. And what if you sit down and think about what type of emotions you would feel with this relationship? It would probably be all positive ones because that's kind of what you want to experience. And so it'd be like joy, happiness, excitement, love. Okay. So pretty much what Google was saying was to feel those emotions right now. Even though you're not in a relationship right now, in whatever like physical world, you're not in a relationship right now. And so, but like our minds have the power to feel those emotions right now, like using your imagination, using whatever, I don't know, practice, like thought training and stuff. And yeah, this is what Googly said. And it's just about like simply shifting your daily focus. So this is something that I mentioned that I'm like practicing, is shifting my thoughts away from the lack of the certain things that I want. You know what I mean? Like instead of thinking thoughts of, oh, I don't have my dream job, like I wish that I had it. It would be so fun to have it. I'm like sad that I don't have it. Like those types of thoughts, to wouldn't it feel like fun to have this job? Or think about what does it feel like to, if I were to have this job, what would a day in the life look like? What would I feel like? And feel those emotions right now. And also, I think that as long as you're feeling positive emotions, I feel like you're still winning over just like thinking negatively all day. At least this is literally all what I think. So yeah, that's what I think. And so what it comes down to is shifting your focus. And especially when it comes to desperation, you gotta Like, I need to work on going from being like upset or sad for not having a boyfriend, or like not having a dream job, or like not having this or that, to what would it feel like to have that right now, you know? And honestly, I feel like that's a really empowering perspective to have, instead of focusing only on the fact that you don't have it. And also too, I do think that there is this thing called vibrational reality, where like things that we want becomes energy first before it becomes matter. I feel like, well, I know so because I've done the research on this, that things can move from like a certain vibration to a different vibration. So like you know how molecules are vibrating at a faster rate than slower molecules. Okay, take like ice and water for example. Ice, the molecules vibrate slower than water. Water vibrates faster. Is that right? I think so. I think the molecules slow down when it becomes physical matter, and then it speeds up when it becomes like energetic matter. Is that right? I don't even know. Me saying I literally did research on this and then being like, wait, oh, what? I don't know. Sorry. But it makes sense in my membrane that there's energetic and then physical, and like those particles can change into energy to physical. Okay, sorry. No, I'm not gonna say sorry, but you can literally click off if you're annoyed. I understand, actually, I really do. But yeah, so I feel like there is a vibrational reality, and I feel like when we want something, then it's there, just not in the physical yet. But then like what brings it to us, you know, and like the good ideas that we have, and then that transpires into the thing just magically kind of like coming in somehow. Like, not magically, it's not really magic, but it kind of is, because it's just like one day you're like, wait, I wanted this like a month ago and now it's here, and I don't actually really even know how it came here. I do believe that that's kind of what happens in this thing called life. And all of this to say is that if it exists right now vibrationally, like, of course I want to think about it as like it being here right now because it's vibrational, and it's just a different form of energy. You know what I mean? And like, so it is present right now, just not in the physical, but you know what I'm saying? So I feel like part of that kind of helps with the mindset from moving from lack to essentially abundance, or like having it right now. Girl, literally don't quote me on this because I don't even know. I'm still trying to understand life and like, and it is interesting for me to try and understand life and like hear people's different perspectives and everything on it. And I do feel like I have my own perspective, but I can't articulate it very well when I speak out loud about it. Anyways, so I want to talk about my diet. And I'm not talking about food. I'm actually talking about thought diet, because that goes hand in hand with this. Desperation is just a part of a bad diet. Thought diet. And like, I think that we can change how we think about things and live a way better, more fulfilling life when we're thinking more in optimism and abundance and happiness and joy, instead of the opposite of those. And so like something that I have been doing, which I feel like I kind of touched on a few episodes ago, is, oh, I just rubbed my eye and I forgot I have makeup on. Sorry. Anyways, something that I've been trying to do is change my thought diet. And like, girl, it takes a lot of mental effort because it's like an entire day, everyday thing. Some people like to call it thought therapy. There's a lot of different words for it. Just shifting your thoughts, changing your mindset, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like what I'm getting out of this is like clearing up the self-limiting negative type of beliefs and thoughts that I have about like myself and situations in my life, or like kind of just like things I took on as a child, or like that I was taught and stuff that's not true. It's like there's no basis for what I was taught, or like the beliefs and stuff. So now as an adult, I am learning to train my mind to think way differently. And so it's literally like, okay, I wake up. Maybe my first thought is like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed because I have to go to work. But then I'm like, wait, let me find actually a better feeling thought than this. And then I search and search in my brain. And this takes a lot of like, you gotta, maybe your mind will start to wander. You gotta bring it back to be like, let's find a better feeling thought. Like you gotta just keep bringing your focus back to finding a better feeling thought. And then I do this, I kind of like cycle through the library of thoughts that I have in my mind that I've kind of like memorized, of thoughts that feel good to me about the situations in my life that I don't like. And I find one until I like genuinely feel emotionally better. And this is what I've been doing on repeat over and over and over, practicing it over and over and over until it soon will become a habit. Because anything that you practice multiple times will become a habit and it'll just become automatic. And like, who wouldn't want an automatic good feeling thought about pretty much every situation in your life? Girl, like anyone would want that. And like, we can train our minds to do that, which is really cool. So that's what I've been doing. And yeah, it takes a lot of mental effort. But it's 100% worth it. And I feel like it's been helping a lot. Yeah, like I feel just in general better overall, like physically better as well. My depression is ultimately gone. Because I'm like, wait, I don't have to feel that way anymore. And like, now I'm kind of going off on another tangent right now, but I guess it's still kind of the same tangent, right? Because like desperation is just a negative thought loop, and like pretty much so is everything else. Like, yeah, sorry, now I'm like talking out loud, but anyways, I do feel like a lot of people are kind of learning to do this type of stuff, I guess, like shifting thoughts and living more in a positive mental state compared to a negative one, because it really does change your life. Like, it's like, first of all, people will only treat you as good as you treat yourself. That's one thing. And I feel like that goes for everything. Like, you'll only get what you think you're going to be able to get. Like, I feel like I picture it as a box. Okay, maybe we're like in a box, we grow up, we learn a lot of maybe negative beliefs and stuff that just doesn't really feel good, but the box can absolutely be expanded or like even broken but we're just living in the box. And there's like all of this other stuff outside of the box that we've never even thought of. Because of those like negative beliefs and stuff. And well, like it can be up to us to think in new ways and think outside of the box. Like we don't have to feel how we've always felt or think the thoughts that we've always thought, you know? Like this is just what I think. And it does, I feel like it makes life better to live like this. It makes you feel more creative because you're getting all like the negative stuff out, you know? Negative stuff meaning like the negative thoughts and stuff. The thoughts that we don't have to think. And like the emotions that we don't have to think. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So my learning lesson from this is when I find myself obsessing over a specific thing, obsessing and feeling desperate about it and stuff, I just want to relax, because relaxing over stressing, like you win. You pretty much win. And I know a lot of people will be like, that's literally so dumb. It can't be that easy. But yeah, it is that easy. It is that easy. So just like take a deep breath and relax and be like, I don't have to think that way anymore, or I don't have to feel that way anymore. I don't chase, I attract. Check. There was one time where I was saying that affirmation quite a lot, that I don't chase, I attract. And there was something that I was wanting or something. I don't even remember what it was. It was like, I think I was wanting like a friendship or something to work out. And I was like, you know what? I pulled my energy away from it, from chasing after it and like trying to force things. And instead was just like, it'll be what it'll be, and just relaxed into it. And now it's like a great friendship. So maybe I should start using that affirmation again. Low key. It's kind of magical, honestly. Anyways, I don't chase, I attract. And I don't care if that sounds wooey, okay? Wooey it's nonsense. Like, that's just a term that we made up for things that like people don't want to hear. But it's not like it's magic or anything. It's, your mind is very powerful. And like, that's what I'm learning. I'm learning how powerful my mind is and how powerful my thoughts are. Oh my God. It is really powerful. Anyways, so that's honestly all I'm going to say today, because I feel like you get the message and I get the message. Do I get the message though? Am I still going to feel desperate after this podcast? Potentially. I hope not. I hope not. Yeah. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.